The third pick for the Dire is up before we go into the second banning phase. Meanwhile, it looks like the Radiant have taken Sanking and Invoker on top of their Leshrac pick already. So two more strong heroes, a lot of AoE damage to be had from that Radiant squad. And the final pick is going to be Enigma from the Dire. We'll see what they want to ban out in the remainder of this stage. They have Chen and Enigma, so a lot of pushing potential. Enigma's probably going to have to play either that long lane role or that mid solo, which could be pretty difficult for Enigma if he's applied a lot of pressure. And waiting on a ban from the Radiant squad. What do KJOD want to take out? They're going to take out Faceless Void. So a hero that's been getting more play as of late. In some instances to great avail, in some instances to quite the fail. As I do create a rhyme there, but if you did watch, I believe it was Burning play him, getting a double ultimate up, but couldn't even take down heroes within the time span of the double ultimate. It was rather painful to view, but on the other hand, if you watch TC's Immaculate play on him, executed so well in conjunction with his team, really does make the hero look like he can be a viable choice going forward. And Enchantress is going to be banned out from the Dire, so that takes out the final real jungling hero. Well, looks like the Radiant have to cope without that. Try and figure out a way around it. Meanwhile, this final ban from the Radiant could very well be something along the lines of a Morphling. One of those carriers that we like to see pretty often. I'm not sure. A lot of teams aren't playing Dragon Knight lately, but he definitely would work well on top of a Chen, Enigma, and Venomancer. He'll give you a lot of pressure. He's pretty stable carry in the early game because he's hard to take down. He does require a good amount of farm to deal out a ton of damage, but I think he could be a decent choice. And the Morphling is the ban choice from the Radiant. And the final ban is going to be Nature's Prophet, who made it through both picking phase, or the first picking phase rather. And that is pretty surprising. Brewmaster will be picked up by the Radiant. It's going to be a good combo up. Brewmaster plus Invoker, Sanking, and Leshrac. A lot of early game potential there. And it looks like they're going to try and take advantage of that and really get it going early in this one. Meanwhile, for the Dire, their fourth pick rather, will be Queen of Pain. So Queen of Pain, an early game option for them as well. Provides that burst damage. Allows them to be more mobile across the map. Gives them someone to go up against Brewmaster or Invoker in a laning situation. And the final pick for the Radiant, KJOD, trying to finish up their roster right. They would probably be looking for, well, it depends if Leshrac is support or carry. If he is support, I'd say Windrunner is going to be a good option for them here. They could also go for the Tide pick. If they wanted to lane Tide in the long lane, I think that would be a pretty good option. Not sure how much they've been watching of the competitive scene recently. We have seen Solo Sanking's top really successful, but I don't know if we'll see that right now. And it's going to be Shadow Demon. So Shadow Demon combos well with Brewmaster as well as Invoker. Now they have options for Brewmaster and Shadow Demon in the middle lane. Invoker can go in the top lane safe, and Sanking Leshrac can try and be aggressive and deviant in that bottom lane, try and mess up someone's farm. Could be a difficult option though, so we'll see what they actually want to go with. But Invoker plus Shadow Demon is so strong because Shadow Demon can set up those Sunstrikes so effectively. I want to thank you for tuning in once again. This is the Go for Dota Saturday Night Cup. I'm NYJohn, your caster, and I apologize for that black screen to start off with. The delay kind of set it off, and I got a little bit of a mess up going on there, but it will fix itself, or it should have already fixed itself by the time you hear this. And the fifth pick coming out for the Dire team. What do they want to finish up their roster with? They already have a lot of supporting casts. Queen of Pain, Enigma, Venomancer, Chen. They're probably going to need someone that can offer a little bit more damage. And like I said earlier, Dragon Knight is definitely a decent option for them. So we'll see. Sorry about that. Okay. And we're about to get into this one, so it is KJOD versus ME. Koala's jerking on D2 versus... I already forgot what ME stands for. Let me check out the brackets, which you can check out too at gofordota.com. It's Monster Easters. So here we go. I'm going to go over who's playing what hero. As I always do, Crash will be playing the Spectre. Theo will be playing Queen of Pain. Kitten Core will be playing the Chen. Daha will be playing Enigma. And Panda Love will be playing Venomancer. Meanwhile, for the Radiant, it will be Oa on the Sand King. Happy on Invoker. May Simt on Leshrak. That looks like a tricky name to pronounce. I'm probably saying it wrong, but my apologies. Rasilian on Shadow Demon. And on the bottom line, all alone, it's going to be Smiley Face. So we'll just go with that and call him Smiley Face for the time being. And here we go. It looks like there may be a clash on the top lane. As we do see 5 rotating up here, as well as 4 from the Radiant. So numbers going to be in favor of the Dire at the time of engagement. If it does happen, Sand King looking for an opening, going to try and get a level of stun, but that is a very difficult stun to land. The slow does come out from Panda right off the bat. It only hits Happy. We also see a dagger coming out from a Spectre. Stun comes up on Theo. He's going to be in the middle of the fight, but he blinks out. Now Oa taking a little bit of damage with disruption as well, put on top of Panda, but he's going to back out. And it looks like everyone is just going to be just fine, as the Radiant have decided to back off a little bit here. And a little bit of an interesting engagement, but ends up being even as they back off. And let me go ahead and switch my... Excuse me for a second. The screen's black for a second. Again. And here we go. There we go. And now in the middle lane, it looks like we're going to have Queen of Pain versus Invoker. So Happy versus Theo. And we'll see who can get the better of this matchup, of course. It is one of the more even matchups, let's say, in the middle lane. So it's going to be very crucial for them to win it. For their teams, top lane is going to be an aggressive tri-lane fielded by KJOD, Sand King plus Leshrak and Shadow Demon. And like I said, Invoker has a presence in this, so it's essentially 3.5 heroes that are a part of the lane because of that Sunstrike coming out and can be timed so effectively with the rest of the disables already in this lane. A lot of good mechanics for them. Spectre and Panda will be there to try and ward off this aggression. They also have Kitten Core in the jungle. We'll see what they can do about this aggressive tri-lane. The tri-lane is going to need to get kills to really amount an advantage that would warrant them putting 3 heroes up here. Meanwhile, on the bottom line, it will be solo Brewmaster versus solo Enigma. So a lane that Brewmaster really should be able to take control of, but at the moment he is being pushed out by these Eidolons pretty effectively. And he's going to have to come back in here. A couple claps, though, with a huge range on it, and the damage will deal to Eidolons, too. I think Brewmaster's going to have a nice time in this lane. He'll get some last hits. He'll definitely be able to pick up his levels and get up that level 6 as soon as possible. And once he has the primal split, then Enigma's going to be in a world of damage, as Brewmaster is a very effective countermeasure to him with those Brewlings. Pings out on the top lane. It looks like they want to consider some aggression here. Rasilian, Mesimt, and Oa definitely have a lot of disables between the 3 of them, but they need to find a nice opening before they can do anything properly. Sand King is still level 1, so the stun is definitely short range. Checking out the middle lane, we could look at CSs right now. We see 7 for 2 on the Queen of Pain versus 2 for 2 on Invoker. So Invoker having a difficult time. That is awkward, though, because he does have Exort build, so he has a lot more base damage than the Queen of Pain, and he should be having a greater time here. So perhaps just a little bit of an experience difference between Queen of Pain and Invoker, that perhaps Invoker is going to work towards bridging that gap as we progress towards the further in the game. Rune's going to be found on the bottom lane. Queen of Pain will pick that up. It's going to be a regen, so she'll head back to the middle lane. Will allow her to have even more of an advantage over Happy, now being able to spam out a couple of skills at full mana and full health. Top lane, we do have a Satyr Creep coming in. He's going to spam off a little bit, do the nukes onto the KJOD tri-lane. And definitely will be frustrating. That nuke from the Satyr Creep does do 100 damage, or 125 damage, excuse me, and only on a 5-second cooldown or 8-second cooldown can definitely frustrate an opponent. just coming out and spamming because you don't want to over pursue and chase them down because then you can get caught in a bad position with Venomancer and the Gale being one of the best level 1 skills in the game. Definitely can put you in a bad spot, and you don't want to ever secede some territory or positioning rather. On the bottom lane, Brewmaster only has 400 gold in the bank, so we can see his CS struggling a little bit. He's 4 for 2, and Enigma's 10 for 3, so having a really good time down here. And that is kind of surprising to me. As I mentioned earlier, I think this lane does favor Brewmaster, so we're going to see what he can do to try and turn this around. At level 6, he should be able to get a pretty easy kill. The lane is a little bit against his favor right now, so it could be difficult, but by the time they hit level 6, I'm not sure where the lane will be, so it could change around. We just see King Core has picked up a smoke, so can go ahead and try and gank up either middle lane or top lane if Chen so pleases. Does have an Ursa creep as well, dealing a lot of damage to that Clap. Also very frustrating with the slow. Theo on the middle lane continues his good farm, 13 for 2. He is behind Chen as well as Enigma, but both of them are his teammates, so he'll be okay with that. Meanwhile, on the top lane, we do see rotation from Mesimt. He's going to head down to the top rune. It's going to spawn in 2 seconds. Will be up top. Yes, it will. It's going to be an illusion, so that will be possibly picked up by Leshrac or just held for his Invoker player. Leshrac is going to take it up, head towards the middle lane, and now we do see a slight engagement. It looks like Theo's going to back off, though, after he puts his Shadow Strike on top of Invoker. Decides he does not want to go in there. I want to keep an eye on this bottom lane because they're getting close to level 6. In fact, if it's played very well by Enigma, he can even take advantage of Brewmaster because Brewmaster's going to need to have an ultimate to try and withstand a black hole with Eidolons. So either party may be able to get out of that with the better end of the exchange if they play it very well. But I'd expect Brewmaster to really get the kill down there. Now we do see an Illusion's going to scout things out. It is a pull from the Dire team. Panda doing her best to try and get experience up in levels without taking that away from the carry Spectre. Spectre is almost level 4, Depend is level 2, almost level 3. So about a level advantage allowed for on the carry. Something you always like to see coming out from support heroes trying to find their farm in a different way. We do see a Centaur Creep is going to chase down Resilient, got a 1 hit on him, and it's going to be a little bit of damage, but just push him out here, allow the pull to continue successfully without the interference. Crasha has almost 700 gold on him, now it's 700 gold. So at 5 minutes, he's a little bit behind where you want him to be. At 6 and 2 in the CS, he's really been pushed off this lane by the aggression. Middle lane, we could also see that Invoker has effectively caught up in CS. So really impressive, 19 for 8. He is now ahead of Queen of Pain. And of course, that's to be expected when that Exhort is being leveled and you get more and more damage for every hit. But we do see a smoking attempt. It's going to be Chen and Venomancer from the side. They're going to come in on Happy here. Happy is going to be in trouble. He's going to continue on to Theo, try and take him out. But Panda's going to go for a nice Gale. It hits on top of him, and in comes Queen of Pain as well. And down goes Invoker. He will be the first blood claimed by the Venomancer. But either way, the Dire are satisfied with that kill. Now they can try to put some aggression in the middle lane if they want to. But it looks like they're going to rotate back to the jungle and continue their farm. And doing well in the early game. It looks like a decent lead has been amounted by Team ME. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, it looks like Brewmaster is level 6 now, as well as Enigma. So Enigma with that Soul Ring does have a black hole available, even though it's a little deceptive. Brewmaster has Primal split up. We'll see if he wants to go for something or if he's going to try and call in some help. Queen of Pain going to rotate down towards the bottom rune, and we'll be able to pick up this haste. So could try and go on top of Brewmaster if he wants to. Instead, he's going to go back to the middle lane, though, and with a slight level lead, maybe, no, there's pretty much even on experience. So without the slight level lead, it's still going to be pretty difficult for Queen of Pain to outlast hit Invoker or really take him down independently without any support from his team. So has to be a little bit careful and may want to consider moving a little bit more once he picks up that level 7 and gets that level 4 Scream of Pain. Meanwhile, in top lane, it looks like the lane continues to push into the favor of KJOD. So they're getting a good amount of CS up here. Let's see the distribution. 17 for 2 on Leshrac. So it looks like he's getting the lion's share of it. Then 2 for 14. A lot of denies on Shadow Demon. Really impressive. Then 2 for 1 on Sanking. So it looks like it is going to be in favor of Leshrac. He's going to get as much farm as possible. Mesimt is going to push Crash off the lane. And now in the jungle, Sanking going to try and take out one of these wards, but Panda's going to go on, and we see Crasher coming in from the side. They're going to go ahead. Sander's going to go into invisibility. We'll be able to get out of here. 2 Centaurs coming in. He's going to have to stun out. He still has a good amount of health, but a couple more hits will take him down. Disruption's up, and down he goes. Venomancer gets a kill on top of Sand King, and now it looks like Resilient may be in trouble as well as the nice Centaur stun. It's going to come out on top of him, and he's going to go down for a double kill on Venomancer, his 3rd kill of the game. He's already on a killing spree. We're only 7.5 minutes into this one, so very impressive play from Panda thus far on that support roll. Scream comes out. It's not going to hit on top of Happy. He's going to put Cold Stop on Theo in response and deal a couple hits onto him. Sunstrike's going to come out, but it will not hit. It's not even very close, to be honest. And now everyone's going to come back towards the top lane. They continue to keep the tri-lane up there, but it really hasn't been all too effective. It has slowed down Spectre's farm in that regard, but losing those 2 deaths up there may want you to consider a little bit more movement, as Enigma's having a grand old time on the bottom lane, 33 for 15 versus Panda's 24 for 7. So definitely a nice lead for him. And they might want to send down the support here so they can ensure the kill. In fact, Invoker's coming down, but he's just picking up a rune. It is going to be invisibility rune. He does have a bottle, so puts it up there. Queen of Pain's going to notice the rune is not there. Invoker knows Queen of Pain is in the river, but will not follow onto her. Meanwhile, in the jungle, there's a ping out in Kitten Core that gets me to jump and look at him, but nothing much going on there. They just continue to farm, and it looks like they're trying to get a level onto Panda, and he does pick up that level 5, so that gives him level 3 wards, which is a good place to be if you're a support Venomancer. Those wards scale very well. Level 3 wards, much more difficult to take down. And Daha being a little bit more aggressive, coming up even more forward, but he is pushing Brewmaster out of this lane, so Brewmaster a little bit reluctant to try and get something going. He does have phase boots up. Hasn't picked up any kind of hard regen quite yet. No wand, no bottle. So we'll probably see a wand coming out in the near future, I'd assume, just so he has some kind of mana regen. It looks like King Core may be in trouble. The invisible Happy is going to pop on top of him, and a lot of damage takes out Chen. So the first kill of the game going to KJOD is going to be on top of Chen in the jungle. Happy making the most out of that invisibility rune, and does so very effectively. Oa coming in, rotating in nicely on that kill attempt, and now Theo may be in trouble in the middle lane as they do eye him up. They're going to rotate in 4 heroes, but it looks like Shadow Team has been spotted off in the jungle. They're going to try and signal Theo to get back, and he will get back in time. The engagement will not follow through on him. Meanwhile, Spectre's been left alone on the top lane to pretty much free farm. So she's going to have a pretty good time with this, and no qualms with that decision. Now going to be able to catch up a little bit from where she was, standing a little bit behind. We could check out last hits yet again. She still is only 11 for 2, so really slow game on the Spectre. And that is not a good sign, but the rest of her team doing pretty well. Enigma having a really strong game. When we see him start moving, that may open up opportunities for Spectre to pick up some kills, which will be very necessary for her since she is kind of stagnating on those last hits, not getting all too many because of this aggressive tri-lane. It's really been panning out for KJOD in that regard. However, the deaths on them is not what they've been looking for. The trade-off may be worth it, though. Mason is going to go ahead, pop the Edict, and try and deal as much damage to the tower as he can. The Tier 1 tower tipping down to around a 4th health. He does have a glyph available. We do see 4 heroes rotating up here from the Dire team. Happy is up here as well, so it's a 3v4 right now as it stands. We'll see if they want to try and get something going. Theo's going to lead the charge. He does have his power treads up. Mason is going to come in a little bit too far. He may be in trouble. Disruption does come up on top of Theo. He's going to get chained up, and he's going to drop here. Definitely blast to take him out. Happy getting pretty low on health, though. He's going to drop as well. Mason goes in the middle of the fight. Does have that Edict popping off with a lot of damage. Resilient, though, going to get hit by the Panda ult, as well as Mason. Mason going to put another split up on top of Panda. Resilient is not going to make it out of here alive. He is going to drop in the middle of the fight. Down it goes. The ultimate comes out from Spectre, but she does not opt to go on top of Mason. The dagger will fly out, though, and it just runs out of range narrowly, and it does not kill Lashrak. He'll escape with 6 life. And wow, just barely getting out of there, but still a good 2-for-1 trade. They do lose one of their carries, but they take down Invoker in exchange for it, so I'm sure the Dire will be okay with that trade. And the bot lane just continues farming. Brewmaster now sitting on 1,200 gold. Perhaps he wants to go straight for that Blink Dagger. Theo coming back into the middle lane will get hit by a Cold Snap as well as the Deafening Blast, but he'll be able to get out of that no problem. Sanging's only level 5, wants to pick up that level 6 as soon as possible, have that Epicenter, and really get things going in terms of his AoE damage in a teamfight scenario. Would have been very effective in that last fight if you could have got an Epicenter off behind the fog or something along those lines. And now Panda does pick up Arcane Boots, so 5-0. Wow, what a start on a Venomancer. It's just tremendous. 5-0, 5 kills, 0 deaths, 0 assists. Panda able to pick up Arcane Boots early, also now has a headdress in the bank, so he'll be working his way towards either a pipe or a mech. It depends what he wants to go for or what his team needs. We can see Enigma has not made his way towards a mech yet, so mech may be the choice unless Chen's going to go for the mech. We do have a lot of options for heroes that can pick that up, certainly. And now Panda, thinking about going here, Theo is invisible on top of Resilient as well as Macent, and he wants to open up and try and get a couple of kills or pickoffs here. Crashes in the area as well, but his damage output isn't that great, and he is kind of squishy. Only 63 damage on auto hits. He does have power treads, but if he switches them over, he wouldn't have that much health. He's only 929, does not have anything like a Vanguard up quite yet. He needs to be a little bit cautious when he goes into those fights. His ultimate will be up in 7 seconds, so that will offer him a little bit more damage on the bottom lane. Just continuous farm, but Enigma's getting the better of this exchange as he's up 13 CS. So Brewmaster has to try and make something happen. I'm surprised neither of them have moved yet. In fact, it's almost a waste, and I usually rant about this, and I'll try not to. I'll keep it really short. It's almost a waste to not use your ultimate within the first, I don't know, 2 levels of getting it, because it would have came back already if you had used it. So even if you have a failed kill attempt, it's almost worth it. But now we have an engagement on Crash on the top lane. The Edict's going to chain up with a Split Earth, and it's going to be a lot of damage. Can he withstand it? This is what I'm talking about. He's squishy. He's going to get out of here. He's going to jump on top of someone else in the jungle. Happy it's going to be, but he's going to get the kill on top of Spectre anyway, and down he goes. So a futile attempt to try and escape there. Spectre still taken down, and that's not what he needs. He's now sitting at 0 for 1 with 4 assists, but his CS is really dismal for a hard carry. 22 for 2. We're at the 14-minute mark, and now they're going to be able to chain this up and get a tower kill up here as well. Glyph is available, but I don't believe they're going to pop it, as there's no chance of defending this. Only 2 heroes in the area, but they cannot really match up against what the Radiant are bringing at them right now. Stun comes out on the neutral creeps. Going to go ahead and farm this off. Not let them have the pull. It looks like Crash is going to come back towards the top lane. There are now 4 heroes floating around here. Queen of Pain picks up a haste rune in the river. He's going to head back to middle, though, and they're going to bring in 3 Chen creeps and try and get their own tower kill on the middle lane. The catapult was here, chipping off a lot of damage, so we'll see if they can try and divert the attacks of the tower. Yes, the catapult will stay alive, and a lot of people don't understand how important that is. The catapult does so much damage to towers, and here it is. This could be a tower kill, but it looks like there's going to be an engagement on the back end of it. There's only 3 heroes here. There are 4 collapsing in from the Radiant, but they get the tower down, and they retreat immediately. Panda needs to be careful of the ward's going to spot off Oa, and Oa is just out of range of a stun, so Panda will get out of there with his life. Meanwhile, Misimp is a little bit too forward. He's going to go for the Split Earth. It's going to hit on Deo. The Gale's going to pop off. Misimp may be in trouble here. They don't have a stun available. They already used it. Misimp is going to drop the epicenter, though, from Sandking. He's going to try and come in. Panda still pops off his ultimate. Will be sent back to the base by Chen. Disruption going to be mitigated. Oh, but the ultimate comes out from Queen of Pain. Doesn't kill off anyone. She gets hit by the Sunstrike and drops herself. Rosillian going to pop off a salve, and he will be just fine. Happy going to get away as well. Pretty low health on both of those heroes, but not critical. And Chen going back to the jungle. Still only has Arcane Boots up, but has 1,700 gold in the bank. So definitely can be getting close to that mech if that's what he wants. I still haven't figured out who wants the mech. It looks like Venomancer is going to get the mech, and Chen perhaps is going to go straight for an Aghanims or Drums first. There's a lot of options. If he wants auras, he can even go. They have a Spectre on the team, so you could definitely warrant getting a Vlad's. It will help for their pushing presence. But only 1 tower claim by either team. We are 16 minutes into the game, so that is a little surprising, to say the least. Enigma on the bot lane is level 10. So if he hits level 11 before he uses an ultimate once, that really is opportunity cost lost. And I mean, of course, he hasn't really had great opportunities, but I feel like you have to move and create your own opportunities. Malphite Stun going to come on top of Happy, though. He's going to be in trouble there. Going to chain it off with a Shadow Strike. The Screams to come afterwards, and he's taking a lot of damage, but they do back off as Panda makes his way in here. He doesn't have enough mana. The Black Hole's going to pop off, immediately interrupted, though. He's going to drop here. Down he goes. Happy's going to take a little bit of damage, but a good stun from Oa. Going to hit on 3 heroes. What a Burrow Strike. Happy goes invisible with the Ghost Walk. Deo needs to look for one more hit on him. While he's invisible, the Scream will still hit an invisible target. Meanwhile, oh, Queen of Pain does take down the Invoker. On the backside of that, they're going to continue and try and push on this now, as they have 4 heroes with full health. Panda still not enough mana to use the Primal Split, and this is the problem with a Panda that doesn't have any regen. He doesn't always have Primal Split available, and that's going to put him in a pinch. Now, Kitten Core coming in from behind. Is Rosillian going to get hit off by the Scream of Pain, and down he goes to the Test of Faith from Chen. And they're going to continue here. They're going to push onto the tower in all likelihood. It sounds like Chen may have... Oh, no, he just got a new creep. I thought he sent someone back to base for a second. And Dale gonna jump in on top of Oa here. Oa in the jungle needs to pop off that Sandstorm for any chance of living, but the AoE from the Scream will be enough to take him out. Instead, Brewmaster, though, is going to be pursued. He's going to drop 2 TPs in, though. The Radiant are going to make their way back in. Happy's coming in. The Meteor drops into the middle of the jungle. It's going to take down Panda. Crasher sitting pretty low in health. The Split Earth is going to take him down. The Edict will finish him off, and Oa survives through all of that just with the Sandstorm. Pretty surprising. The other 2 make it out. Kitten Gordaha and Queen of Pain, I believe, all make it out alive, but still a good response from the Radiant to pick up some of those kills, as it was a little bit overzealous sitting there by the Sandstorm, trying to get those kills off. from the Dire team. Perhaps they should have been content with putting damage on the tower or retreating after having a good engagement in their favor. The kill lead is now 10-8. I'm NYJohn. This is the Go for Dota Saturday Night Cup. Thank you for tuning in. Check out gofordota.com for weekly cups and content. And it looks like KJOD are content with trying to push this tier 1 tower here. The edict is up. There is a glyph available, so they should be able to stop this push if they want to. 2 heroes still in the area, Enigma as well as Queen of Pain. And Enigma's ultimate getting interrupted right off the bat. Not the best ultimate, only really hit on top of Panda. But the tower does go down, the kill will go to Invoker. And Invoker, sitting on 1,500 gold himself, already has his phase boost as well as drums up. We'll see what Leshrac has. He has a ring of health on top of his arcane boots. We have a smiley face with that blink dagger like we noted a little bit earlier. Oa, still nothing really going on. Has almost 1,300 gold in the bank, but really sacrificing other items to get that. Doesn't have arcane boots, doesn't have a wand or an urn or anything along those lines. None of those utility items that you like to see on the supports. Rasili, meanwhile, has arcane boots up, also has a couple of clarities on him just in case the arcane boots are not enough. Chen in the jungle going to pick up a Wildkin. So that's a nice creep, and he decides he will go for the Aghanims first. So point booster plus Staff of Wizardry. It's only about 1,900 gold away from finishing that off outright. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, they're going to try and contest this tower. The tier 1 tower being pressured by KJOD. ME are here. Panda going to go in and look for an opening. He's going to try and put a... There's a slow on top of Panda. Brewmaster. Excuse me, I forgot there's 2 Pandas in the game. Now, down goes Sand right off the back. King Core trying to use off that ultimate, and he does. Shadow Demon is going to drop as well. So 2 dead so far for the Radiant. Now 2 dead for the Dire as well as Chen drops, but they do take down Leshrac, and now Happy's going to go down as well. So 4 kills for the Dire team in that engagement, and they do. Panda does send him up into the air, but KJOD trying to retreat here, and he does not do so successfully. 5 kills for the Dire in an awkward-looking engagement that I had a hard time following because it was an awful staggered team fight. And wow, ends up going vastly in favor of the Dire team. So well played by them. 5 kills, taking out the whole squad. And we can see, if we check out the kill chart, Invoker leading the way at 7 for 4, has picked up a lot of kills throughout this game. The miraculous start of Metamancer has stagnated a little bit as he's 5 for 2 now, picking up 2 deaths. But that is okay, as he is that support role. Has picked up 7 assists since he was 5-0 as well. Crasha, how's his farm doing? He's going to be going for a defusal. So no defensive item. Realizes he's behind and goes for more of a, I won't want to say desperation, but it definitely is more geared toward an aggressive outlook. And perhaps a little bit rash in that regard because their team is doing pretty well. He is individually behind, but I think they can afford him some opportunities to farm while they are in engagements, since it is, after all, a Spectre, and has that ultimate. He'll be able to be in a team fight one way or another. Happy is going to come forward here, look for an opening on Theo, but Theo has already retreated effectively. He also picks up a point booster, so 1,400 gold away from finishing off his own Aghanims, if that's what he wants to go for as well. Now pressure on the top tier 1. It's going to be Daha, Panda, and Crasha. And I would like to stop calling Brewmaster Panda, as I realized during the last engagement why that's a little bit problematic. And now we do see Panda, Brewmaster coming in. A Black Hole, got to catch Oa, as well as Smiley Face and Resilient in it. Crasher makes his way into the middle of the fight. Down goes Oa, that's 1 kill. They're going to go on top of Brewmaster next. Daha trying to escape with his life. Leshrac in the middle of the fight, dealing so much damage with that AoE skills. The Edict on top of the Nova Pulse. And they're going to back off. It looks like both teams are content with backing off a little bit, but Chen wants to pursue. And a very aggressive outlook from Chen, but he's going to back off. Panda going to back off a little bit too. Are they going to press on is the question. Emmy have the opportunity to try and put pressure on the tier 2 tower in the top lane. As we do see Theo rotating as well. Doesn't have much mana. They're going to send Crasher back to the base, so it looks like they're not going to continue to push too hard. As ultimate is not available for Spectre. Deafening Blast comes out from Invoker. And now Meteor are going to come out to try and kill off the wave as well. And here's the retreat call from ME. They're going to back up to their own jungle and thereabouts and continue their farm as Crusher has come to the bottom lane. Does finish off that Diffusal. So Diffusal should give him an opportunity to deal more damage in team fights. But of course, only 1,100 health on the back end of him. Dispersion will try and help him out a little bit in terms of being tanky, but it won't go as far as he needs to be because he has to be in the middle of those team fights, and he'll be taking damage from Sand King as well as that AoE damage from Leshrac. Maybe one of the more prominent problems for him at the time Meanwhile, they're going to rotate into the jungle. KJOD are going to look for an opening on top of Panda, but Panda is going to retreat to his team. Daha does not have a black hole for another 95 seconds, so have to be careful here, but the stun does come out on top of Venomancer. Venomancer chained up, and he's going to drop almost instantly. Down he goes. Queen of Pain comes in through the backside and able to take out Shadow Demon really easily. He must have been sitting pretty low on health, and now Queen of Pain only about 400 gold from finishing off her own magnums, and definitely will help her out in terms of pushing as well as that AoE damage. Maysim thinking about going. He sees the Chen creeps, know they're in the area, but does not want to risk it. Would be a slight overextension, and Brewmaster with that ultimate still being a little bit conservative. We've seen him use it once so far that I recall. But with that Blink Dagger, it seems like he could definitely be a little bit more forward if he wanted to. Try and create some openings for his team. That could have been a good opportunity with Venomancer dead, and Queen of Pain still had a lot of mana, so maybe it wouldn't have been the best idea. And a good retreat call from KJOD. Meanwhile, ME going to continue their farm. Daha in the jungle along with Kitten Core. Deo going to rotate down to the bottom rune. It is not there. He's going to continue to farm their enemy jungle, so a little bit forward for him, but he is in good proximity to Crash, who has an ultimate available, so he can get out of here if he needs to. Now Deo is going to, Happy's going to run right into Crash, but decides to back off a little bit. They could try and turn this around on him, and if Ping comes out, Deo a little bit AFK, farming those creeps in the jungle, and he needs to back off too now. And Spectre should probably TP out of here, and he will do so, just in case, as Maysim was rotating in along with Brewmaster. On the top lane, Courier does deliver something out. It's going to be a full pipe for Enigma. So quality pickup. Now Chen is going to be able to finish off his Aghanims once the Courier can bring that out to him. Aghanims almost up for Queen of Pain as well. So looking good in terms of items for the Dire team. The Radiant not quite there in terms of the finalized items. Invoker does have his Force Staff. So definitely a positive for him. Maysim picks up a point booster, but still a ways away from finishing up a stone if that's what he's going for. Sand King only about 100 gold away from finishing off a Blink Dagger, so that's definitely another positive for them. But they need to get that before he drops again, and it looks like they're going to let him farm the middle lane. Does have one level up in his Caustic Finale, so we'll allow him to farm it pretty easily, and now he can afford it. It's going to be flown out to him, and this could change the tides of the next battle. If he comes in with that Blink Dagger, uses up that Epicenter in a good situation, will deal a lot of AoE damage and really shape the fight in their favor. We do have a circle on the map. I'm not sure what it's trying to indicate. Just a lot of teamfight items up on top of the Dire team. And it's going to make it very difficult on these big engagements. However, Daha may be in trouble as we do see Brewmaster jumps in on top of him. The mech is popped up as well as the ultimate, but the black hole instantly interrupted, and that's going to be a huge waste. Panda drops, Enigma drops. They're going to continue to pursue on top of Deo. Queen of Pain could be in trouble here. The stun comes out on top of her. Can they tune it up with anything else? No, she's going to blink out effectively. And now they're going to toss up Chen in the air. He could be in trouble. When he comes down, he's certainly going to die. Maysim sitting pretty low. They're going to try and get a test of faith or a kill on him. Crash able to finish him off. Kitten Core trying to run out for her life. Happy sitting pretty low in health. Dale comes into the middle of the fight, pops off the Sonic Wave, and Happy going to take damage. He's going to drop here. Kitten Core still trying to escape, pops off another ultimate because of the Aghanims, and down goes Brewmaster, and a fight that looks surely in favor of the Radiant turns the tides and goes in favor of the Dire. And that's where the big team fight items come into play. The second ultimate coming out from Chen really shaped things in a positive fashion for ME. Master Easters, or is that even the name? I cannot remember their team name for the life of me. ME Monster Easters, excuse me. And here we go. Pressure on the tier 2 tower on the top lane. This tower is going to drop almost certainly, as we don't see anyone coming in too quickly. And they're going to continue forward a little bit, but they probably should back off. Crash is going to TP back to the base, and Deo, a little bit risky poking his head out here, is going to get stunned off. Stunned off again, the chain stun, and perhaps he's going to drop here. No, he's going to blink out just in time. Do they have another blink from Sand King? They're going to continue to pursue, but no, it looks like Queen of Pain should be able to get out of here safely. And there she goes. And the stun's are going to come out, but it's not enough to finish her off, and she's going to run into a regen rune in the river. And that is quite a lucky occurrence for the Queen of Pain player. They are very satisfied with that. I think this game definitely is in favor of the Dire where we stand right now. So we'll see if they can try and make that favor into a smooth victory, or if perhaps KJOD are going to be able to rebound from it and reassert themselves. Looks like Roshan could be one of the next options for KJOD. They are hovering around the bottom area. They might want to go for the tier 2 down here first, but definitely they have a lot of map control. They're going to send Crasher back to the base to get some mana back. And oh, you got to love playing with a Chen. Definitely has a lot of perks to it if you're his teammate. If you are the Chen, though, it could be a difficult life. However, this Chen doing very well. 3, 2, and 15. As we can see, 15 assists, and that's really impressive coming out from those jungle players. Being a part of so many kills, and Chen does not have any natural escape, so definitely living life on the edge in those team fights. And being able to only die twice and being a part of 18 kills, that's a ratio that you gotta love. Brazilian gonna spam off a little bit of Shadow Poison here. They're gonna rotate into the jungle and look for a fight. Daha does have a black hole up in 10 seconds, so you gotta be a little bit careful. Deo has invisibility up as well, also 2,000 gold in the bank, so could be going for that Scythe of Vice as his next option. Could also be going for a BKB, possibly. We'll see what he wants to go for when he gives us some sort of indication. However, it looks like they're going to look for an opening. Spectre popping off that ultimate, dealing a lot of damage to Rasilian, and here comes the Sonic Wave, takes out Rasilian as well as Leshrac, and Sandkick, 3 kills instantly. Queen of Pain, ultra kill, and that is a huge engagement for the Dire. They're going to be able to push on, perhaps look to the base even after that, and wow, ME dominating them there, and Queen of Pain just styling on KJOD with that Sonic Wave wiping out the enemy team. Now Panda's going to look to push the bottom lane as the rest of KJOD rotate in. They're going to try and take out 2 tier 2s here, so maximize the goal from that. And in fact, they're probably not going to be able to penetrate the base, but they will get 2 towers out of this, and maybe even Roshan if they want to. Black Hole was used in that fight. I'm not sure if I saw where. Maybe I'm just blind, but that will be on cooldown for the time being. Panda going to spam off those Plague Wards. Now back is going to happen in the middle lane, as that's going to be the first area for the Radiant to contest, and now the bottom lane can back as well. Deo is invisible though, may look for an opening, has an ultimate, but he does not have enough mana for it quite yet. Could have enough mana if he pops off another bottle charge, but Sankin got to come in, he's going to pop off his ultimate, the epicenter in the middle of the fight, the Sunstrike going to come down on top of Panda, and it looks like, oh, just going to go down to the edge of that. Deo backing off as well, 4 still alive, the stun comes out on Panda, but the smoke is popped and will allow him to retreat. The Brewlings will not reveal that, but up in the air they're going to toss up Enigma, and he may be in trouble here. The Brewling sitting here. Oh, May Simpson's going to drop pretty low from that Sonic Wave coming out on top of him. A couple more auto attacks will take him out. Daha going to be sent back to the base by Chen. In the middle of a team fight, they're going to be able to take out Leshrac again. Panda going to pop off the mech. Also be healed up by that ultimate from Chen on such low cooldown. Brewmaster just trying to chase somebody, but he's slowed so much, it's hard for him to get in base contact. In fact, he's going to drop down. Smiley drops down. He gets the Venomancer before he drops, but now Deo is going to look on to Happy, and Happy may be in trouble. He does have Invoke available. He's going to invoke up the Ghost Walk and make it out of here with his life. And now it looks like they're going to continue the pressure on the base. This is probably a little bit of a rash decision, though. They don't really have enough to push on. They're going to back, so that's probably the wise call. While we have a lull in the action, let me remind you, I'm NYJohn, and this is the Go for Dota Saturday Night Cup. You can sign up at gofordota.com for all their cups every week and join us and participate in a nice tournament format for pride and glory. And check out the website as well, gofordota.com. Thank you for watching this cast. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I surely am. As we watch Daha farming the jungle. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, we have Spectre backing off. He does have Radiance up, so Spectre, after having a really poor start, ends up with a 31-minute Radiance. And now his stun comes out on Crash, and he could be in trouble with that Soul Catcher amount as well. He's sent back to base, though. Or was he TPing out? He TPs on top of Invoker. I couldn't even tell where he went. And Spectre does drop. Dominating streak is ended, but he does have his Radiance already. So he's not going to be too concerned with that death. I think he just spent the majority of his money. And yeah, he's only at 460 gold now. So not the biggest deal for him. Of course, you don't want to drop, but it would be worse if it had happened before he finished his Radiance. And let's check out levels. We can check out the actual graph. So we have a moment here. 15,000 gold experience. Gold lead for the Dire, over 20,000 experience lead for the Dire as well, and that's what I was going to look at, the levels, and it looks like the levels are definitely amounting in favor of this ME team. Level 18 on Spectre, level 18 on Queen of Pain, to the level 17 on Invoker, and level 15 on Brewmaster, and those levels definitely playing a big part. We see also Leshrac only level 10 after he was getting the farm on that top lane. That's not where you want a farming hero to be at that low level point. Now we do see a slight engagement. It's going to be happy on top of Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain going to take a couple hits here. It looks like Panda may be in trouble though as the Sunstrike drops on top of him. Ultimate popped off as well as the mech yet again keeping Panda out for a little bit longer, but a nice block call from Da. Going to catch 3 in it. Happy's going to drop from the poison. In comes an epicenter from Sand King. He's going to deal off as much damage as possible, but the pipe was popped off there in the middle of the fight. Maysimpt is going to drop here. The Pandas are going after Daha. He's going to go down. Chen's going to try and back off. Theo down to around half health, gets stunned up by the Earth Panda. Going to be sent back to base as well, so he's going to go aggressively on top of Brewmaster, but instead we'll be back at the well. And now Crasher in pursuit of Oa. Oa could be in trouble here. He's going to pop his invisibility, go into that sandstorm, and the Radiance is preventing him from blinking though. He also does not have enough mana for a blink, so 2 factors going against him. And does he have a null? Yes, he does. The Diffusal is going to slow him down with the Purge, and there he goes. Down goes Sand King to Spectre. Another nice kill for Crasher. And Lincoln Sphere has been created by Queen of Pain, so opting for that as her second item choice. You can see the utility, preventing things like Disruption, Demonic Purge, as well as Cold Snap. So it definitely has some use. Disruption does take her out of the fight for quite some time. Even Soul Catcher could be a pain. And they'll gonna go for a Roche attempt here, but only a couple people in the area. They haven't really committed to it yet. Now Crasher coming in. It looks like they're gonna commit and go for the Roche kill. Definitively, Spectre gonna try and pick up this Aegis. And it looks like it'll be a no contest as KJOD aren't really in the area. They're gonna look on from the outside in. They don't have any vision here either, as it may have been sentry warded. May have been countered if it had anything up this part, but the Aegis is going to go to Spectre, and now Spectre, even if you can take him down because he doesn't have that much health, he's going to be in trouble. Happy in the middle of the fight, though, exposing himself, and he's going to drop off right off the bat. They cannot even kill off Panda before he drops. Queen of Pain going to go forward aggressively. Down goes Rosillian. KJOD Smiley Face is going to run out through the top path, but Oa going to go through the bottom, and it looks like Queen of Pain wants to pursue on him. He's going to drop. Maysimpt going to get a nice split earth on him, but Pursue is going to follow, and Maysimpt going to be in trouble as well. They'll gonna go on top of him. The Shadow Strike to slow him down. The auto attacks with the double damage to follow, and down he goes. The Scream of Pain takes him out on the middle lane. It looks like they were able to finish off Brewmaster as well. All 5 dead. A 5-for-none exchange in favor of ME as they march on to the final frontier, the base of KJOD. And here comes the big push with the ultimates down. Epicenter will still be available, but Primal Split is not. And it looks like they can definitely do a good amount of damage. Enigma ultimate will be up in 25 seconds. So we'll see if he can make use of that when it pops up. He had a good ultimate last time. Still got interrupted, but had 3 heroes in it for a decent amount of time. Able to finish off 1 or 2 heroes within the duration of it. And the melee barracks is taking a lot of damage. It's going to drop down here. The range barracks is going to take a lot of damage as well. We do see the epicenter coming into the middle of the fight. Da now pops out the pipe. And the Sonic Wave is going to take out Sand King as well as Rosillian yet again. And another double kill for Queen of Pain on a godlike streak. And really, Theo having her way with the enemy team in this game up to this point. We can see in terms of kills, 18 for 2 with 10 assists. Really strong game on the Queen of Pain. And now Arax down. What can KJOD try and do to rebound from this? It's going to be very difficult. And in fact, could be near impossible. Over 20,000 gold and over 30,000 experience in favor of the Dire team at this point. And it's not going to be an easy task at all for the Radiant to get back into it. Just because the items keep coming. And even heroes like Spectre that were shut down for so long, now on her way to finishing up a heart. So not in a good place. And it looks like Koala's jerking on D2. Maybe in dire straits, or definitely in dire straits. Maybe nearing the end of this match, though. Maysimpt going to try and find an opening on top of Theo, but he's going to blink out. Nothing to come of that. In the middle lane, a lot of heroes grouped together. They don't want to try and fight this independently. Looks like Crash is going to push out the top lane a little bit. A nice box is drawn on the map by Theo to indicate the kind of area of the map where they want to focus, even though it did seem fairly obvious. And now Theo is going to go for that Scythe of Vice. Has a Mystic Staff up. Panda is going to go towards an Aghanim Scepter, but only has a point booster thus far. Like I said, Messerschmitt's up on Spectre. Wow, Chen picking up a sight device. Really nice on him. 6-2 and 22. Wow, that is a lot of assists for Chen and a little death. That is so good, and the kill lead is 40-17, so it's a really strong game from ME. As we reach the 38th minute of the game, pressure on this bottom tier 3 tower. Daha has an ultimate available. He also has a blink dagger up, as we saw in the last instance. Will he try and find an opening here? Brewmaster has his primal split up. Force that forward. Daha is going to be in trouble as Happy's going to go on him. And perhaps he may drop here. No, he's going to pop out the pipe. Ultimate comes out from Chen. Keeps everybody alive, and Happy is dead. And this is the opening that ME need to try and get into the base. And once again, it looks like Arax is in danger. Meanwhile, a little bit of split action coming from Spectre on the top lane. But he can come into the fight whenever he wants to with the Reality as well as the Haunt. And now a little bit of blink out of the base as Enigma found himself in a poor area. But now an ultimate comes out from Sand King. The epicenter into the middle. It does no damage, though. The mech from Panda will instantly heal off all the damage that the epicenter did and mitigate it. And now Daha looking for an opening. Could do it any second now. And here comes the black hole. It's going to catch off Brewmaster as well as Shadow Demon. And Shadow Demon's going to drop instantly. Brewmaster going to get cheaped off. He's in trouble. Down he goes. And 2 more kills for the Dire, and this is going to be GG. I think GG is going to be called momentarily here as the tower goes down. The Rax is definitely in trouble. Sun comes on Crash on the top lane, but he can probably turn and try and fight this as he has dropped them both low. Instead, Theo's going to come in, cleanup crew going to try and finish this off, and Oa sitting really low health inside of that Sandstorm. Maysim going to be finished off, 1 hit from Crasha, and now the Scream takes out Sand King as well, and the final Rax going to be pushed on by ME. Monster Easter going to take the first game of the Saturday Night Cup presented by GoForDota.com. I'm NYJohn, your caster. I hope you enjoyed the cast as we come to an end. Really well played by ME. Excited to see them play. A lot of synergy between their teammates. And once they got up those core items, they realized that they had to be aggressive. So they had that nice Aghanims up on Chen. They had the pipe up on Enigma. They had the mech up on Venomancer. And they realized now is our time to try and force fights, create openings. Spectre's farm was behind, but the team fights that won in their favor really allowed Spectre to get back into the game, and that is what I said they needed to do, and they did so very effectively and efficiently, and the GGs are called. KJOD going to gracefully bow out of this one, playing to the very end, though, as we do see the throne is now the target. Mercillion may be in trouble, though. The illusion from Spectre going to come in here. Thale with a dive on the base is going to be sent back home from Chen. Sunstrike going to come out. Crasher may be in trouble, but it doesn't really matter as we see the throne drops down to around half health, and this one's about to be in the books. Thank you for watching again. If you enjoyed my cast, you can follow me here on Twitch, and as well as sub me on YouTube, where you can find the VOD of this match later today.